Hello and welcome to another standard video here in the Foundations metagame, and Foundations reprinted a lot of cards, including a lot of the gate cards and gate synergies, and of course Mace's End is going to be our alternate win condition in this deck, a land that enters tapped, can make colorless mana, or we can activate it for 3, return it to our hand, and then search our library for a gate card, put it on the battlefield, and then if we control 10 or more gates with different names, we win the game. This deck has 11 uniquely named gates. We've got 10 guild gates for the different guilds, as well as Thran Portal, which has the gate subtype. So we've got a little bit of redundancy in case our opponent were to blow up one of our unique gates. At the core, this is a green-white deck, since we did not get Gates Ablaze as a reprint, so that's one of the main cards that we're missing compared to the old Gates deck in Standard. So instead of going red for our sweeper, we're going white, which gives us access to temporary lockdown, which is pretty important for all the aggressive decks in the format, and also because so many of our lands enter tapped, having a 3-mana sweeper as opposed to a 4 or 5-mana one can also be very important. And then we also have the full set of Sunfall to catch some of the larger creatures and also give us a leftover incubator, which can also buy us a bit more time. And then another payoff for the gate deck is Archway Angel, a 6-mana 3/4 flyer. When it enters, we gain 2 life for each gate we control, so this can easily gain us 10 or more life, which is great for stabilizing against other aggressive decks. And then the rest of the deck is pretty much all ramp. We've got Spelunking, which lets us draw and then play an additional land, and very importantly, lands we control enter untapped from now on, which is very good with all the gates that normally enter tapped, and also synergistic with Mace's End, since we can potentially activate it, replay it, and then activate it a second time, since we can immediately tap it again. And then we've got Case of the Locked Hothouse, which lets us play an additional land each turn, so that can also be great when we're activating Mace's End with Spelunking in play, for instance. And then once we solve the case with 7 or more lands in play, we can now play lands and enchantments off the top of our deck, so that also synergizes with the initial ability of playing an additional land, so that can also quickly get us to 10 or more gates in play. And then of course we've got a route finding 2 of our gates. And then Omen Path Journey has also been great in this archetype. When it enters, we can search our library for up to 5 lands with different names, exile them, and then at the beginning of our end step, we get to choose a card at random to put on the battlefield tapped. So that way we can eventually assemble a lot of gates for just 4 mana. The drawback is that it's a little slow to get going, and the opponent might be able to destroy our enchantments, so we have to be very careful not to get too many uniquely named gates with the journey, and instead aim for some of our 2-offs in case the journey does get destroyed. If we take a look at our gates here, we've got only 1 copy of Dimir Guildgate, Izzet Guildgate, and Rakdos Guildgate, since the colors aren't particularly helpful in a green-white deck. Otherwise we've got 2 of each, and the full set of Selesnya Guildgate, since those are our primary colors. And finally, a couple basics. So we have a few untapped lands, so we can actually cast our 4-drops on curve, so that can hopefully set up our future turns a bit better. And then 3 copies of Mace's End, since we don't necessarily need multiples, but having more than 1 in play still maybe gives us an activated ability to sink our mana into. So yeah, that's the deck. Now let's jump in some games and see how the deck does. Alright, we're on the draw. Our hand seems keepable. We've got plenty of interaction, although could use a bit more ramp. For now, play Guildgate. Opponent with a white Citadel, so it could be a tokens deck. Maze Mind Tome also gets exiled by the lockdown. And then we'll maybe diversify our gates a little bit for Mace's End. Could play Thran Portal next turn, keep the plains as a 4th untapped land, or maybe for Sunfall. But yeah, since we have double lockdown, I'll use 1 now. Opponent will draw on the way out. And then with all these sweepers, we can buy ourselves a lot of time against the tokens deck. But finding something like an Omen Path Journey or Circuitous Route would help. Opponent's got the Talent as their card draw engine, and we cannot remove that one. So I'll get Mace's End going. Had I maybe played Mace's End turn 2, I could have activated this turn already. But now Enduring Innocence is a good one to exile with a Sunfall as well. before they make too many more tokens. Yeah, since we have another one, that seems fine. Opponent's gonna get lost their own innocence. Fair enough, get lost would have been pretty good at answering other enchantments as well. But yeah, now they have 2 card draw engines, so they can just make a few tokens, draw more cards, and keep the ball rolling. We draw more Sunfalls. So this is probably a Maze's End turn, can activate now, and then replay it. And then have to double check which gates we already have. Wait a bit longer before we deploy the Angel so we can gain more life. But yeah, in theory this should be an okay matchup since we have the sweepers for their tokens. And outside of Get Lost they don't have a ton of relevant interaction. Possible they have Field of Ruin in their mana base. Or I guess nowadays it's Demolition Field. Beza makes a treasure. And our opponent goes exploring, finding another talent, which they declined, so maybe looking for Get Lost as interaction. So, could be an okay time to play the Angel, or we can just go tap land, Sunfall, and then take it from there. Opponent counting up our gates. We have 5 in play, so still a long way to go. Carrot Cake makes a rabbit. And another Angel to draw. Yeah, I guess we'll run one out here. Should buy us a lot of time. Carrot Cake makes another rabbit, draws 2. Still just the plains, so at least no demolition fields to worry about. More carrot cakes. So yeah, at this point they likely have another Get Lost in hand. So our enchantments aren't particularly reliable. Actually don't mind the Soul Partition, because for 8 mana we get to gain a bunch more life. Do have to watch out for talent leveling up and pumping their tokens. Alright, a root was a great pickup. So now I'm a fan of a root plus probably a lockdown. And then get some of our one-offs here. Yeah, I'm afraid that if I don't deal with their tokens, that with maybe 2 leveled up talents we could be in trouble, although they probably don't have the mana to do 2 of them. But 1 would still hurt. Otherwise we can just activate Maze's End, and then maybe next turn go Sweeper plus Angel to stabilize. but I do have the flexibility of maybe still animating the incubator if needed. So our opponent's going to level up the talents. An attack for 19. So, yeah, maybe it is worth it to bait out either removal or get a chance to chump Beza. Another talent. Alright, so probably need to Sunfall here, and then we can still play the Angel. And then we can start counting gates again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're very close. And there's still no demolition field, so very much possible that they don't have any. Get Lost or Angel. Elspeth can make more tokens. Alright, the case isn't particularly helpful right now, unless I maybe explore into more lands with the map tokens, which could maybe work. So let's say we start here. Animate the incubator, attack Elspeth. See what the response is. They're gonna soul partition it. So I don't have a creature to use the map tokens unless we play the Angel, which I guess is fine here. And then the coast will be clear to explore. Back up to 40 life. Found a land, and it's one we didn't have yet, so that's great. And the Azorius one we also didn't have yet, so yeah, next turn we could just activate Mesa's End to win the game. Get Lost or Angel. Can level up talents. Hit us for 15. Still have lockdown to clean up, but I don't think we'll need it. Play the case. Activate Mesa's End. And then Golgari Guildgate should do it. And there we have it. Awesome. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. Hand seems fine. Good mix of interaction and a bit of ramp. Hoping to find some of our 4-drops now. Up against the red aggro. This is going to be a very tough matchup. So we'll be lucky if we get to turn 5. Temporary lockdown certainly helps. I'm going to cast it. But the problem is haste creatures deal damage right away. And Screaming Nemesis can also prevent us from gaining a life with our Angel, if we ever get to that point. Alright, hopefully they don't target their own Nemesis with Burn. They've got another one. Alright, so can clean those up with a Sunfall, but it does seem like they might have some instant in hand, which can prevent us from gaining a life, and I don't think we'll survive long enough without that. Alright, that actually worked, so maybe they were holding something else. There's Archway Angel, so yeah, let's not waste any time and play the Angel here. It would gain me 8 life. And then the case is solved, so Hothouse can start drawing additional cards off the top, basically. So play it. Can still activate Maze's End. And can do that at any point. We'll hang back with our Angel, no need to attack. Opponent's gonna remove it. Still have a 2/2 blocker potentially. Lockdown on top, so we'll see if we want to keep that or if we shuffle it away. Shuffle it is. And can get one of my singleton lands. Another case on top, so that's fun. Root would be fine to keep, so we can draw into it with Spelunking. And then another Angel coming up, we definitely keep. So yeah, if our opponent had a burn spell for Screaming Nemesis, this game might have looked a lot different. But as it stands, we're about to gain a bunch more life. So I've got high hopes. Burst Lightning kicked is 4 damage, so we're at 10. Swiss Spear, I'll block with my token. Even though it's gonna cost me 1 life, still seems worth it. And a Monstrous Rage. I'm still blocking. Another Monstrous Rage, okay. And a Lightning Strike. Are we dead now? Looks like it. That's very unfortunate. Trample for 7 when we had Angel coming up next turn. Alright, on to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. Our hand seems fine. A Root into Angel can gain a lot of life. Although we will need to survive until turn 5 to set that up. And of course draw another land in the meantime. A Lockdown can give us some more interaction. Facing monoplanes, and looks like another tokens deck. Well, we've managed to win this matchup before. This hand has some useful tools, but apparently no 4th land yet. So that could be an issue. Alright, found another Maze's End, at least it's not legendary. So next turn we can root. Opponent did not have a 3-mana card draw engine, so they're not off to an amazing start. Their hand might have a lot of removal, which we don't care about. So yeah, get some of our white gates that we don't already have. And then maybe get a one-off gate. A Virtue makes a knight. So if they plan to cast the enchantment, we can still clean up with a Lockdown next turn. And then activate Maze's End. And get another one of gates. And Beza is fine. So can probably afford to wait another turn on the Angels to gain even more life, and this turn we can double activate Mesa's End and replay one. So I believe we've got all the unique gates, so all the rest we have at least 2 copies. Seems about right. There's the Enduring Innocence. Alright, so this might be a turn for Root into Angel. Should have just enough mana. And then Root first. And getting 2 more gates we don't have. And then next turn, Mesa's End should just wins the game. Back up to 26. Yeah, in this matchup I would much rather draw Root than Omen Path Journey, since they have more interaction for enchantments. So get an attack in for 10. And then play Guild Gates, but I'm pretty sure we already have 10 if we activate Mesa's End. Just gotta double check, but I don't see Golgari Guild Gate yet. And there we have it, on to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. Triple Selesnya Guild Gate's not ideal, but at least it will fix our colors, and then the rest of our hand's decent. Still missing interaction. So one of our sweepers could help. And Bivouac, hopefully a tokens deck and not burn. But either way, play Guild Gates. Another tap land. Yeah, it does look like a tokens deck and not burn, so that's promising. Now Omen Path Journey might get destroyed, so I do want to be careful with which gates we exile with it. But we do have some duplicates. The case is going to be a bit more effective if we can immediately solve it. Although it could be good bait for removal. And I do have 2 lines I can deploy this turn, can save myself 1 damage. So we're close to a solved case. Opponent did not blink end of turn, so they may not have any enchantment removal. Alright, there we have Get Lost now. So they might have top decked it. So now I'll probably try a Journey before deploying another case. And then get some of our 2-off gates. Azorius, Boros, Golgari, one of Mesa's End, and Gruul Guild Gates. And we'll at least get 1 back. Opponent's got nothing, maybe holding a bunch of removal in hand. That's not something we mind. Yeah, I'll maybe wait on another Omen Path for now and get the case going. There's a small chance we get Mesa's End and I can still activate it in the opponent's turn. And got the Gruul Guildgate instead. Mirrex makes a token. So yeah, this seems like a decent matchup if our opponent doesn't start with Orobrask's Forge on turn 3 at least. Play a land off the top, play another land off the top, and another case, so we're doing it. And then I probably don't need Sunfall, so I can Journey to get rid of it. Still have to be a bit mindful of which cards we exile with the Journey. Also don't have to get 5 lands, but Mesa's Ends, Orzhov, Simic, and then can maybe afford to get 1 unique gate. And what else? Boros maybe. Play gate off the top. Although we already have plenty of Selesnya Guild gates. Our opponent's just activating Mirrex. And now we can Mesa's End of turn as well. And then Mesa's End, I want to say going for Orzhov Guildgate, which we don't have yet. Simic Guildgate is another one. Yeah, I guess we'll go Simic. Root on top. And Mesa's End entering untapped allows us to immediately activate it, thanks to the Spelunking here. So, let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I have 2 fetchable gates left, we could just win the game next turn. And then Orzhov I don't have yet. And double checking. Golgari we don't have either. And then I play Mesa's End, activate it, and that should be game. With the Hot House we could even activate it several times in the same turn, thanks to the Spelunking. And there we have it, on to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We've got a Keeper. We've got both a Lockdown for early interaction, Spelunking for ramp. And hopefully we'll find more useful cards along the way. So it doesn't look like I'll need to cast Lockdown on turn 3, so I can maybe play the Guildgate here. Deep Cavern Bats can choose. Lockdown is an answer to the Bats, so that's what they'll take. But now we can play Spelunking. Does it make sense to play Thran Portal? It will be untapped later, so yeah, I guess it's fine to skip that for now. Since it does still hurt to tap it for mana. Opponent's got a Phyrexian Arena for card advantage. And lock down the draw. Yeah, not too exciting to play that one. So instead, maybe Mesa's End. Get another white gate that's maybe less common. So Orzhov Guildgate is fine. And replay Mesa's End. And now Archfiend, so that one's pretty scary. So could use a Sunfall. So I could still lock down, Get rid of the bat, get my lockdown back. We could actually somehow win the game with the alternate win con from Archfiend if we draw enough angels to gain life. But now, especially with Bloodletter doubling the damage, that's probably not going to happen. And the rest pretty good too in this matchup. And just mazes and the draw. So yeah, just didn't draw any actual spells this game. Can play Portal, activate Mazes End, and that's gonna be game over. Alright, that's too bad. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. Our hand is very slow and doesn't have any interaction mostly. But we're on the play, and I've got a decent mana base going. So I'll still try it. Prioritize white mana for lockdown. Okay, so turn 1 plains, no play is good news. Could this be another tokens deck? I certainly don't mind. Opponent having to discard to hand size. So I don't want to risk Journey getting destroyed by a Get Lost, which they might have in hand. So instead we'll just play Roots and get some of our one-off gates. Opponent now tapping out for a Carrot Cake. So now Journey can at least guarantee us 1 extra land. And Angel's nice to have. Okay, I'll play the Journey now. And then we can get some of our 2-off gates. An extra Mazes End doesn't hurt. And we got the Mazes End. So even if they destroy the Journey, we can still function with double Mazes End here to get the remaining gates. Enduring Innocence is fine. And another Angel. So, do we activate Mazes End and then play an Angel, or do we just play Simic Guildgate at this point? Could also play an untapped land. And then I can, let's see, 6. Yeah, I guess I'll still be 1 short of activating Mazes End in the opponent's turn. So I'll just go Gates Angel. Gain 12. And then we're getting close to double activate Mazes End to just win the game. Could maybe wait for the Journey trigger and then double activate. So our opponent must have kept a hand with lots of cheap removal to beat aggro. Turns out we're the complete opposite of aggro. Maze Mind Tome is fine. Another Angel. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get an 8th one with Journey and then double activate Mazes End to win the game. So I can do that in my end step. No need to attack. So that triggers. Activate Mazes End. And then we don't have Orzhov yet, I believe. And this should be the last one. And then Azorius is also missing. And there we go, awesome! So yeah, if there's one matchup that this deck seems good against, it's definitely the white token decks. Okay, we're on the draw. Our hand's not very good, but I'll still keep it. Could use more variety with our gates. A nightmare. Can maybe get a forest. And gate still seems better than untapped land since we have the angel. Although facing the discard deck means we're quickly gonna run out of cards in hand. For now, play tapped Maze's End. And yeah, both the Journey and Roots are pretty good if we can land them. Tiny Bones makes us discard. So one Journey can go. Alright, so we've got our 4 drops ready to go. It is possible that keeping double Journey is maybe still better in this matchup, since I don't think our opponent's likely to have answers to our enchantment. Now Deep Cavern Bats could take away Sunfall. Still happy casting either one of my 4 drops. Alright, takes the Angel. Yeah, I'll go with the Journey now, since we're not in a hurry to get to 6 mana. And since I don't expect anything that can remove the Journey, I could even get some of my one-off gates. So we can Sunfall here if needed. Opponent's not applying a ton of pressure, so we've got that going for us. Another Tiny Bones. Yeah, that can snipe a Maze's End, I think. Take 1. Just gotta hope their hand is mostly creature removal. For now we can root. And then get some more lands. So next turn we're potentially gonna Sunfall. But we're not really in a hurry. Could just activate Maze's End, replay it. Alright, another route seems better. And I guess we can still Maze's End afterwards. So we're getting close. And then just double checking here. Probably go for Selesnya Guild Gates. Now, I guess I potentially made a mistake by getting all the individual gates with Journey, since now we have to wait to get the gates from Journey. There's 11 different gates, and 3 that are in exile currently are all unique. But we can wait until the Journey trigger resolves end of turn, and then activate Maze's End to still win. So I don't think it's actually gonna delay us. Ooh, I see Demonic Pact. That explains a lot. But yeah, it's gonna be way too slow to actually win them the game. So can Sunfall if I'd like, making sure not to tap Maze's End, please. Auto tapper one time. And then no need to play the Angel, instead just play the gates, and then yeah, we can wait for the Journey trigger to resolve and then activate Maze's End, and then I'm pretty sure we get to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then, yeah, with one more, we should get there. So I guess it doesn't matter. And our opponent explodes. Awesome. So yeah, the deck got us through golds into platinum, and as long as you face slower matchups like the white tokens deck and something like Demonic Pact or other versions of control, even the domain deck should be a winnable matchup, then yeah, the Gates deck is kind of the deck that goes over the top of everything else by winning with an alternate win condition. That's pretty tricky for most decks to interact with, but the drawback is that the deck is going to be quite weak to mono-red aggro, especially if it's packing a lot of haste creatures and burn spells. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's gameplay. Want to thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a nice day.